You already know what time it is, man. The young goat in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Hill Heat Podcast.
Oye, te habla tío Sabio Vega. This is Sabio Vega and you watching True Hill Hit a mi manera o pa' la calle.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, F Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Hill Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and my good brother's Twitter account for an all-new Rated Raw review, episode 29, Family, discussing the August 5th, 2024 edition of WWE Raw as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my good brother, the president of the Liv Morgan fan club, the president of the Charlotte Flair fan club, the president of the Ariana Grace fan club, cousin to Carlito, Caribbean Cool Cologne, cousin to Eddie Epico Cologne, cousin to your favorite wrestler and president of your favorite wrestlers fan club. He is the face and the ace of True Hill Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo. How are you doing?
In shambles. Judgment Day. What happened to the Judgment Day I loved? What happened? It's all gone. It's gone split into two. Judgment Day Civil War. What the hell?
You were
Things
talking
were all good.
You were talking all glossy earlier on Monday. He was like, "Oh, my man Carlito ain't going to turn. He don't turn his back on his Boiqua fan." Man, you see how these Boiquas do?
We're supposed to be here celebrating the big upset, Damian Priest over Gunther from Saturday. And here we are talking about this absolute Judas, Finn Balor, crying about something that happened a year ago. Oh my God. Yeah, a year in the making. This prick.
I don't know if you watched our SummerSlam review. After my jokes of you running from the grind, I did give you credit because you're a man of honor who did apologize to me for trying to say I was going to take an L on SummerSlam, which I didn't. 7 for 7, 8 for 8 if you count the Roman Reigns return.
No, I don't, because blind mouse could have predicted that, but
not Dutch Mantel. Dutch Mantel was swearing up and down on our SmackDown review. He was like, "Oh no, I think it's too soon. I think it's too." I was like, "Dutch, this is not going to main event if Roman does not come back." So
that'd have been crazy if imagine Roman didn't show up. Wow.
Then Romeo would have agreed with me that it was the worst match on the show. But yes, we are here to discuss the fallout from WWE SummerSlam 2024. Rated Raw Review is our Monday Night Raw podcast that we do here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, where we break down everything that went down on Monday Night Raw. We appreciate y'all for joining us every Tuesday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. If this is your first time joining us, we appreciate y'all for watching us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, drop the thumbs up, a heart emoji, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However Monday Night Raw made you feel, you can let us know with those emotes. You're watching us on Twitter, drop the heart, drop the retweet. It helps out the algorithm over there and helps you see more content from the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. But most of all, sound off in the live chat if you're watching on any of those platforms, because we love to interact with you guys here. Hear your thoughts on what I thought was a top 3 Monday Night Raw episode this year of 2024. Top 3. Right up there with the June 17th episode with the Wyatt Sicks arrival and the, I forget what date that was, but it was in March. It was 2 weeks before WrestleMania. I call it the Rock made Cody bleed in the rain episode. That's what I call that episode. But top 3, it's right up there with those 2 episodes. Overall thoughts, what did you think about last night's show?
Off the top of my head, yeah, it's probably a top Raw. Definitely the 2 you mentioned are ahead of it, for sure. But I can't, nothing jumps off the head as far as what would be third. So yeah, I guess you could say this. I'm shocked that they went this hard for a Raw on Sci-Fi. Holy shit, they brought it. They made it feel like a SummerSlam after Raw. I guess usually it's a big Raw, the SummerSlam after Raw, as far as rating wise, but we'll see how the ratings look today. But great show, and the crowd was whoo, Baltimore. I didn't know you had this in you, and you deserve a PLE. I know we don't get too many PLEs in America nowadays, and if we do, they're in big stadiums or shit. But you deserve a PLE for the energy and excitement you brought to this Raw. Now, granted, they gave you, a Raw that was, easy to sink your teeth into, as opposed to last week, that poor crowd. But you compare this Raw to last week, night and day. Two extremes.
I would go as far to say this was better than the June 17th episode.
What was June 17th? June
17th was the Wyatt Sicks arrival. Because I'll be honest, that's the one thing that I remember from that episode. I can't tell you. I know we usually would only remember like certain things. Like from the number 1 episode to me is that 2 weeks before WrestleMania, Rock made Cody bleed in the rain, because of how it was laid out, where you had Rock and Cody to start off the show, where Rock whispers in Cody's ear of what's going to happen later on in the show. Then it ends with the beatdown in the rain and making him bleed. But in the middle of the show, you have the very best Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, where that three-way promo in Chicago with that Chicago crowd going crazy for Punk. Drew and Seth, that was like the best week of their build going into WrestleMania. So you had it was laid out in 3. You had 3 things to remember from that episode. Like the June 17th episode, now that my brain is starting moving, I do remember Otis and Gable. That was the episode Otis pushes Gable down. That got a big reaction, but that was the peak of the whole storyline with Otis and Gable. So that I look now on that like in a negative way, because I was like, you should have just pulled the trigger on Otis just laying out Gable on that episode, even though Gable would later get shot in the head. But the Wyatt Sicks is the overwhelming thing that I will remember from that episode. But I feel like I will remember the whole Judgment Day segment, because that shit was like it was pulled right out the Attitude Era. That whole the JD and Priest matchup was really good, and then the follow-up, the post-match was great. And I will remember Bronson Reed's beatdown. I remember the start of the build for Gunther and Randy Orton, and I'm definitely going to remember the Wyatt Sicks in-ring debut. So that's like 3-4 things from this episode that I'm going to remember.
Breaking news, SP3, breaking news.
Oh, here we go.
The first episode of NXT on the CW will be held live from the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois.
Wow. They're going hard in the paint.
There's going to be some main roster talent on that show. Believe that. The CM Punk will be there, guaranteed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I dare I'm going to go out on a limb. You said that first episode. The second episode, you know who they're going up against, AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday. So they're going to do another one. Not at Full Sail. Yeah, they'll go back to back. They'll go back to back. They might start. They may see success on that first week and be like, hey, we're going to start traveling on Tuesdays.
Yeah. You're on a major network. Well, more major than USA, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, that's big news. That is big news. Oh, man. But yes, we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw, but you guys talk about it in the live chat. Once again, show your support. You can also show your support in the best way possible. Hit the $, send a super chat donation. That always helps out the channel here. We got here Will Chisholm with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Will. He says, can we have a talk about Tony Khan not getting machine guns, Becky Lynch, and maybe losing the lucrative Bossman bit? We happy for Shane. What happened to the feeling? I think you're talking about the Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros.
I think, yeah. Lucrative was
supposed to be Lucha. Brosnan was supposed to be Bros.
Man, the losing of Lucha Bros and Lucha Bros going to WWE. I said it last night in a tweet. I will say it here. That might make me give the edge to the free agency war of 2024 to WWE, because WWE did more to fill out gaps in their entire roster as far as like tag team division. If they also get the machine guns, as far as the women's division with Julia and Stephanie Vicaire. They got a future main eventer in Jacob Fatu. They got half of a good tag team in the GOD. So like they filled out a bunch of different gaps, a bunch of different holes in their roster that I would give them the edge, even though AEW got the bigger names.
100% agreed. Although WWE needs to do something with this tag division. They have the teams, but they're kind of just like in neutral right now, I guess is the best way to say it. And Becky Lynch, let's not count Becky Lynch because I don't think she's for the getting. So
exactly,
I can't fault AEW not getting someone who's not wanting to be gotten.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's not Tony Khan. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not Tony Khan not getting Becky Lynch. It's Becky Lynch is not available to him. He got the biggest women's free agent of the year. Mercedes Moné was definitely the biggest, but WWE got the second and third in Julia and Stephanie Vicaire. So It's kind of, I think about it like an NBA team. Like some teams may get like the big stars, but then there's other teams that just fill out the gap. And that's the team, that's the championship team. This is a championship team that is filling their gaps in their roster in a more, you know, beneficial way in getting the Lucha Bros. That's a huge get. But I think that most people, and I'm not to say this is you, Will, but most people are just trying to use this as a negative towards AEW when we should really be thinking about it as a positive for the wrestling space. Because Lucha Bros were in AEW for 5 years. I said, like, me and Jimmy kind of talked about it, and we said, like, the one thing that you can say about the Lucha Bros, you can't say AEW fumbled them, but you can say that AEW didn't utilize Phoenix or Penta in a better way in the singles division. I think they did pretty much everything you can ask of them with the tag team division. They won the tag team titles. They had an all-time classic feud with the Young Bucks. They had their matches with FTR. They basically faced all the major teams in AEW that we wanted to see them face. They did that in the Trios division. The best of 7 series for the Trios division is the best thing that Trios division has ever done. And their series of matches with the Elite were classics. But as individuals, Rey Fenix could have been their version of Rey Mysterio. He could have been a breakout star. And Penta, he has so much charisma that they could have done more with him as a singles as well. That's the only thing. I can't say AEW fumbled them, but I can say they could have utilized them a lot better as singles competitors.
Rey Fenix can't be trusted. He's too injury prone. I think
that's all. Thank you. That's the caveat in what I'm saying. Yes, that is true.
I think the bigger gripe is with Penta. He could be more trusted. He doesn't get as hurt as Phoenix does. I think he should have got a bigger singles push. But it is crazy because, you know, you think of tag team wrestling, AEW had their foot on the neck of that for a while there, and now all of a sudden it's like, and WWE's not really like, they're not going crazy with the tag division themselves, but that seems to be the tag destination now all of a sudden, which is crazy. And I see a lot of people, you know, on social media like really upset that the Lucha Bros are leaving because, you know, they are AEW since its inception. So that's a big loss in some people's eyes.
Yeah, because I would say that the two big gets that they got in 2019 was when they got the Lucha Bros and when they got LAX from TNA Impact. Those were the two big gets for the tag team division that they could have built the tag team division behind those 3 teams with the Young Bucks. That should have been like their first 3 AEW World Tag Team Champions. I still say one of the first mistakes of booking was not booking the Lucha Bros to be the first AEW World Tag Team Champions, because you look at SCU, Kazarian's not even in the company anymore, and Scorpio Sky, they kind of used that to propel him into the singles division. Hello.
That was creepy. That was creepy the way
hi.
you
What's this?
Say hi, Romeo.
Hi, Romeo. I'm eating mushrooms.
eating marshmallows. What?
She said eating my cheese. Say send super chats for more cheese.
Send super chats for more cheese.
There you go.
There you go. All right. I'll see you in a little bit, or you'll come back when you want to. It was creepy how she just pokes her head in, right?
That was creepy. That was like a horror movie.
Oh man, you'll love it. You'll love it. But yes, thank you for the super chat donation. Will, we got Chilling with Chase, who says this Raw was my second favorite. It might be my second favorite as well. After we get through it, I kind of can put a stamp on it or not. Alan says, loving the background, Romeo. Loving him some House of the Dragons. How's that going? Is the season over?
The season is over. Very short season, only 8 episodes, and a lot of people are pissed because they felt the last episode was just one big trailer for a 70-minute trailer for season 3, which season 3 is not for 2 more years.
Yikes. We got our good brother I Make Beats in the chat, one of our new Patreon backers. He says, what's up, guys? It's me. I'm back, baby. Raw was stacked. I even caught half the show live, then crashed out around 2 a.m. Caught the rest this morning. We ring debut. Wyatt Sicks ring debut delivers. I am with you, I Make Beats.
Seems to be a popular strategy.
Yes, if you're in the UK and you're 5 hours ahead, or if you're Jimmy Baccaram, who doesn't waste time on stuff that he doesn't feel is worth his time. We all crashed out after the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Bronson Reed segment. I literally messaged our True Heel Heat chat. I was like, that was a great main event segment. Good night, y'all.
I thought Jimmy was a night owl like I am. Nope.
No. He is a night owl. He doesn't go to sleep until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but he took off from wrestling for 5 years until I drag him back into it with AE Ramble and AE Recap. So he's only going to devote him. He literally told me before Raw even started, he was like, man, I showed him some of the matches that they had announced. He was like, man, if I could get Gunther, Punk, Braun, and Rhea in the first hour and a half, I'm out. And I literally sent him the lineup after some stuff was announced. I was like, here's the lineup. He was like, oh, I'm out after the Punk segment. I was like, me too. We got Safet who says, last night Raw was one of the best Raws I ever seen. God damn, that's high praise. I don't know. I've seen every episode of Raw. I don't know if it's one of the best.
Too high. Best this year.
Yeah.
Keep it at that.
Yeah. Hello.
Ew.
What are you eating on camera? You can't, and you're spilling it on me.
No
What
manners.
are you eating? That's not nice. That's not nice. And you're eating with your mouth open. You're supposed to be a lady.
Lady.
Well, we got Chase who says Rock also was a surprise. The Chicago crowd was not expecting it. Yeah, I forgot that The Rock wasn't advertised. Because remember, they did that big advertising for The Rock on SmackDown like 3-4 weeks in a row, and then he showed up on Raw out of nowhere. So that was the extra big reason why that's number one for me. We got Detective Jimmy McNulty. Is this Jimmy Macaram's burner account? He says June 17th Raw is overhyped because it was the episode of Carlito beating Dragon Lee. Good point. Good point. Like I said, in retrospect, like I was big on that episode when we reviewed it. We came back with Rated Raw review after like a month and a half hiatus, and we reviewed that show, and I was high on it. But like in retrospect, 2 months later, I'm like, yeah, I think this episode was better.
Top three.
Yeah, this is a top three easily, without any debate. He says this episode was awesome since the Montreal episode and Chicago episode. I'm not sure what the Montreal episode was. What was the Montreal episode? Do you remember?
Nope. Must have been something with Sami Zayn though.
Oh yeah, that's Sami versus Chad Gable in the main event.
Oh yeah, Gable turned heel.
That was a great main event. I don't remember anything else on that show though. We got Chase who says AEW did well with the Lucha Bros. Detective Jimmy saying the tag divisions are dead in both companies. It's not looking good for both companies' tag team division because now WWE's got to put their foot on the gas and really kind of they can go ahead of AEW because AEW seems obsessed with pushing the Acclaimed in the tag team division. So WWE has the pieces with your DIYs, with your Motor City Machine Guns, with your Lucha Bros coming in, with Axiom and Nathan Frazier are ready for the main roster at this point. I hope they come up as a tag team, even though they've been teasing their split for a couple of months now. WWE can really speed ahead. They just got to really focus on it.
WWE's got their tag titles both on the two biggest factions in their company. And well, they're gonna have to do something with the SmackDown ones if Jacob Fatu's out for a bit. You're gonna have to just force GOD to be GOD. Sorry. That was probably the world, the universe correcting itself. Like, what? This isn't GOD. Bang.
The crazy part is he was supposed to sell it like he got hurt, but it seems like he really got hurt in the process.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers for sure. I hope it's not anything serious because he's been on a roll.
We just need Buddy for War Games. You just heal up for November.
Yeah. Emmanuel saying Triple H is going to put the Lucha Bros with Legado, isn't he? I just hope they're not stuck in the Mexican mid-card vortex. That's my only hope. That's my only hope. My only hope I have. Chilling with Chase says, I think the Lucha Bros had a terrific run. I think they're going just to raise their rate in Mexico when they're done with WWE.
The WWE on the resume at the top.
Yep. WWE win the WWE Tag Team
WWE
Champions.
Tag Team Champions.
And then 3 years in, they're going to be like, yep, we out. We're going back to Mexico. Later, guys. We got family. Mr. Bonda, one of our newest members of the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, Romeo, the nicest man in wrestling podcasting.
You agree?
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Everybody knows that except you. Jeez, get up the program, SP3.
My bad. We got chilling. Thank you, Mr. Bonda. Chilling with Chase with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chase, for the support. He says Harlem KO out of nowhere. Indeed. More out of nowhere than RKO.
It's a smooth transition from that into the opening segment.
We got Chilling with Chase says the second episode of NXT will be in St. Louis, Missouri, announced by Shawn Michaels. That's been announced too?
Guess so.
Oh, shit. They going hard.
I wouldn't know because I'm blocked. So I'll take Chase's word for that.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. I make beats. He says I fucks with THH. No drama or toxic crap, just good takes. Yeah, there's no need to be toxic, no need to be tribal. We're tribalistic in our group chat, but not here on the channel.
Very toxic group chat. Not on here though.
We keep it neutral on here.
I got called a WWE dick rider yesterday
because you hearted a post that said Logan Paul is better than MJF and Will Ospreay. Stop it.
How many matches has he had? This guy is incredible for how many matches he's had. He's incredible.
But say that instead of hearting the post.
Extrapolate that. The potential is off the charts. Off the charts.
I love
how many years did it take for Will Ospreay and MJF to be that damn good so fast?
Will Ospreay was pretty good, like coming out the gate. If you don't remember, that was a couple of years ago, but MJF was really good coming out the gate as well. So, like, yeah,
it's right there.
It was a reach. I remember when I used to watch No DQ, and then I grew some brain cells. Anyway, let's go.
So much for the no drama or toxic crap, huh? Maybe that lasted 2 minutes.
It's all jokes. It's all he knows. I make beats knows. It's all jokes here. No slander of anybody. I'm just saying, not the best reputation there. But anyway, we started. We got it. Yeah, I got to give praise to the Baltimore crowd. This Baltimore crowd was like top 2 crowds for Monday Night Raw this year. Like, they were excellent the entire night. They were loud. They were into everything, and they elevated certain segments that we're going to talk about. So I agree with you, Baltimore.
And I underestimated you.
Go to the Raven Stadium. Why not do a big show at the Raven Stadium?
I don't expect this from Baltimore, which makes it crazier.
Yeah, you don't expect this loud. It was crazy. There was a SummerSlam video recapping the Raw brand matches on the show. Then we see Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio were shown arriving all happily together, the new power couple. We see Damian Priest, who did not look happy, showing up at the building, as well as the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. You would have thought Braun Breaker was actually going to do something on this show to start off, but I don't think he did. Drew McIntyre showed up, all very happy. He comes out his car. He's just like, that feels good. Breathe again. And then Michael Cole announces we have a sellout crowd, 11,832. And the first hour of Monday Night Raw was commercial free, so we got to see more of the action on Monday Night Raw this week. And we kick off in the ring with the returning Ludwig Kaiser, who is in the ring to start the show, and he introduces the new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. And out comes the new World Champion, the Ring General, the King of the Ring, Gunther, our World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther gets in the ring. He's all decked out in his suit. He hugs Kaiser before he leaves the ring to leave him to himself. He held the title belt as fireworks went off. He received a mixed reaction, even some fans who were chanting, "You deserve it." Gunther states that my name is Gunther. I am the ring general. I am the longest reigning intercontinental champion in history. I am the king of the ring, and I am your world heavyweight champion. What a freaking resume already. What a freaking resume. Since 2019, this man's been hooping in WWE. Gunther announces or says, if you thought his intercontinental title reign was historic, just watch what he does as world heavyweight champion. He was above everyone in the ring. Nothing could catch him off guard because he was greatness personified. From this day forth, Raw, the legacy of this sport and the world title belonged to him. Then the music here we hear is "Our Voices in My Head," and Randy Orton comes out to a huge pop from this Baltimore crowd. He gets into the ring, and Gunther admits on the mic, he says, "I was wrong, because that actually did catch me off guard."
Got
That
a lot
was
of laughs.
good. Yeah,
Made the crowd laugh with that one.
we got some loud laughter from the live crowd here. Orton admitted that the title belt looked mighty fine on Gunther's shoulders. Orton said he was the only reason Gunther was holding the title in the first place. He says, "You beat me at King of the Ring, but did you really beat me at King of the Ring?" Orton reminded us that his shoulder was up during the pinfall. He has been here long enough to know that the referee's decision was final, but everybody saw it, and even Triple H said he saw it as well, and he said that there should be a Gunther versus Orton 2. So Orton says that he was calling his shot. He wants it, and he wants it at Bash in Berlin. Orton says that he's the only one in the locker room that can match him. He says chop for chop, technician for technician, smooth versus smoother. He says the fans deserved a modern-day Flair versus Steamboat. That was Cap. Gunther considers himself a living legend, and that was perfect because Orton made a career out of killing legends. Orton planned on walking out of Gunther's home country of Berlin as world champion. Once again, Cap, because Germany is not his home country. The crowd chanted, "Randy, Randy, Randy." Gunther admitted that not beating Orton clean at King of the Ring left a stain on his record. The voices in Orton's head were wrong, though, if they were telling him he could beat Gunther in Berlin. Gunther accepted Orton's challenge, and they shook hands on it. Then Gunther pulled Orton in close to tell him that there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that catches him out of nowhere. And Orton responded, well, that's fine with him because he wanted Gunther to see it coming. Orton left the ring, and it was made official later on in the night. It will be for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin coming up on Saturday, August 31st. Randy Orton will challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I really enjoyed their first match. I thought their first match was great, only negated by the finish being, Orton having his shoulder up. So obviously, and I think the matchup coming up in Berlin is going to be even better. These guys can deliver not a modern day Flair versus Steamboat, but I got a good shout. That was a response of Jimmy Macaram when I made this comparison. It's going to be a modern day Flair versus Barry Windham. Those two guys had chemistry together, top-notch chemistry, and Barry Windham had some of his best matches against Ric Flair. I think that's what the comparison will be with Orton and Gunther. These two guys are two of the best in-ring competitors. Orton still got a little bit left in the tank. He's riding out his prime years in style, while Gunther is at the top of the game, one of the best wrestlers in the world today. This should be great. And I love this setup. This was a good, yet simple setup for Bash in Berlin. What did you think?
Yeah, nice surprise to open up Raw Randy Orton, who I guess can go wherever he wants, or it's just like
Yeah, they didn't They didn't even try to explain.
He's Triple H's guy. You know, he could go wherever he wants. You know, they go way back. The Flair versus Stamp. I guess Orton's trying to compare Gunther to Flair because of the chops, but Gunther's not. Their wrestling styles, besides that, are not even close comparable.
No. And he's not Steamboat, so like,
I think he's trying to compare himself that he's just as smooth a wrestler as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat ever was. That's a lot closer than Gunther Flair. That's a lot closer. I'll say that.
I'm sorry. Jimmy said this, and I agreed with him. Flair, Steamboat, and Gunther all belong in the same category. They are some of the best in-ring workers I ever seen. For as much as WWE loves to say Orton is that, I don't think he's on that level. I think he's on the tier just below, which is fine. It's very high.
Randy's not going to hear that from you. Randy would RKO the shit out of you right now. He'd RKO you, and you'd see it coming. But I like the verbal exchange between these guys. I'm fine with this being the match at Bash in Berlin. I actually think Randy Orton's one of the few guys in the company that can possibly make this crowd, which we all thought is going to be so heavily behind Gunther, could possibly make it more 50-50 or something like that, because he's just such a legend.
They're going to want to sing. They're going to want to sing that song.
And he's such a legend, too. Like, they'll cheer for him. They haven't seen that guy in forever, so it'll be interesting. It'll be a good match. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of Gunther's reign. And get ready for a long reign, folks, because first of all, it's Triple H. Second of all, it's Gunther.
He's holding this shit for a year. I think he's going into next year's SummerSlam as world champion.
It is going to be hard to make it dramatic that the challenger is going to have a good chance against Gunther. You got a toilet roll.
You said you're what? What are you?
A pirate.
You're a
pirate?
Oh, because you have one eye. I get it.
Cheap pop.
Kids get you so much joy, so much laughs.
I was gonna say, like, the only time that I'll probably buy a challenger being able to defeat Gunther anytime soon is if it's John Cena.
Yeah,
who else am I gonna buy?
I really believe that should be the WrestleMania match for Gunther.
I do too.
That should be WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. We got our top two matches already sealed up. John Cena on his retirement run trying to get number 17 against Gunther, and Rock and Cody. Until further notice. Man, Roman came back with such a big pop. I don't mind if they did Roman Cody 3, babyface versus babyface.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that might happen sooner. Before on the road too.
I think the bloodline you do that is Royal Rumble though,
and the bloodline cost him or some shit. But I think this episode lined up a few things for WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I think they should really use Orton losing to Gunther at Bash in Berlin. That's going to be the thing that sets him off when he goes back to SmackDown to turn on Cody, because that's his only way back into the title picture is if he turns on his good friend Cody.
All he's got to do is ask. That's going to be the first promo. Cody Rhodes will be like, all you had to do was ask, brother. You didn't have to RKO me. Now you made it personal.
Turned your back on. We got I Make Beats who says, Randy's music threw me the F off. I thought I got the wrong day or something. Call Me Mr. Banda says, Randy, I respect you, OG. However, it comes to this championship, I'm going to fold you like an omelet, fam. King General.
Damn.
Don't mind it. We got Chilling with JC says, I saw an insane stat that Gunther has been in WWE for like 2,000 plus days. And in those 2,000 plus days, he has been champion for 1,635 of them. He's quadrupled the amount of days he hasn't held the title.
Pretty good.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's an insane stat. They need to say that on commentary, though, Chase. They need to. We also got Gunther, who says, we got Detective Jimmy, who says Gunther title reign should consist of him getting his revenge on the people who beat him, like Ilya, Sami, and Braun, and beating Randy clean. I think that Sami will be down the line, that he has to face Sami for the world championship, because Sami's whole story before WrestleMania, before they decided to put him in the Intercontinental title picture, was that he's never been a world champion. And that was his real goal, like in January of this year. And then they just was like, okay, now he just wants any title because we're running out of spots for WrestleMania. So let him just go for any title. He wants to be Intercontinental title champion now. And I think that will be his focus after he's done with Braun and probably teaming up with Jay to take down the Judgment Day in the tag team division.
Yeah, I don't think Braun should be on this list of people facing Gunther. I'll tell you what's really intriguing down the line is Finn Balor, because he's gonna be like, I'm the reason you're champion, and they could run their match back seriously this time with time. Even though that was a good match, but they beat the shit out of each other, they could do much better.
Yeah. We got here chilling with Chase, who says Randy Orton confirmed just now he will be at that Tuesday St. Louis episode of NXT. There you go. You got Randy Orton on NXT. They'll probably throw another main roster star and a legend to just make sure they beat AEW soundly in the ratings that Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't wait for Tony Khan's tweet of how Randy Orton, such a ruthless aggression star, the lowest rated episode he's ever been on television history. Yeah, I can't wait for that tweet. But yeah, I see Randy Orton's tweet replying to the tweet that I'm blocked from. Yep, confirmed.
He's like, I can see Orton's tweet, but I can't see the original. William was in the chat, says best Raw under Triple H era. That's high praise for sure. We got another super chat donation here from Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says Randy could be that if he cared in his 20s and 30s. See, I agree with that. If Randy cared as much as he does now about his in-ring work and not being a dickhead backstage, yes, he would be in that category with Gunther, Steamboat, and Flair.
Well, Randy's got 7 more serious years for you. Just watch.
I'm not denying that. He could. He's in amazing shape right now. But yes, we got more to discuss from this episode of Monday Night Raw, but good start to the show. Then we go backstage and we hear from Sheamus, who did a quick interview with Jackie Redmond. He knew guys like Kaiser and Pete Dunne were just trying to make a name for themselves at his expense, but he told them to bring it on. He says tonight he's going to finally take care of Ludwig Kaiser, and then he's moving on to Pete Dunne. He comes out to the ring and Kaiser attacks him, starts brawling right before the bell in the entranceway. They got in the ring and it seemed like the referee just forgot to start the match, but maybe somebody alerted him in his ear. He rang the bell about 10 seconds later. Sheamus was in full control until Kaiser feigned an injury on the outside, favoring his ribs. But Kaiser then ran around the ring and hit a drop kick into the steel steps on Gunther. Kaiser made a poor attempt at the 10 beats of the Bowery, but Sheamus blocked it. Sheamus no-sold some chops from Kaiser. He was lighting Sheamus up with these chops. You would think he was Gunther. Sheamus followed with a headbutt and some right hands, as well as axe handles. He hits a corner clothesline, a backbreaker, and then follows up with the white noise for a 2 count. Sheamus applied a cloverleaf, but Kaiser was able to make it to the ropes. Kaiser tried to fight back, but Sheamus hit the 10 beats of the Bowery and then hit a flying clothesline on the outside. These guys were beating the absolute shit out of each other. After the flying clothesline on the outside, Sheamus brought Kaiser into the ring, and he saw an attack from Pete Dunne coming. He dodged out the way. He hit a knee strike on Pete Dunne, laying him out on the announce table. He got back into the ring, and Kaiser caught Sheamus off guard, hitting his running kick. But Sheamus surprisingly kicks out. Sheamus catches Kaiser coming off the ropes. He hits his pump knee strike and then follows up with the bro kick for the 1-2-3. Sheamus defeating Ludwig Kaiser. This match got 11 and a half minutes, and this was really good. The crowd were very much into Sheamus. They were very loud for this matchup, and these two guys just beat the absolute ever-loving shit out of each other. Very good stuff between these two guys. I think this was even better than their last match on Raw where Kaiser beat Sheamus. I really enjoyed this one. What did you think?
I agree. This was the start of a good in-ring show for Raw. Sheamus and Ludwig here. Good to see Ludwig back. And I like how he, fake pretended to sell his ribs, the injury they was suffering from. Sheamus didn't care. And then I like Sheamus seeing the Pete Dunne attack that's been happening for weeks coming, finally here. And Pete Dunne was, listen, we got to elevate this now. Pete Dunne has to speak. We need to hear from Pete. We need to hear from Sheamus about Pete. Something along those lines next week on Raw.
And I'm surprised they haven't done that already, because Pete Dunne smashed that first promo he had on NXT to explain why he attacked Trick Williams. So I know he's got Trick tonight at Great American Bash night 2. So hopefully we can get something similar to that on Monday Night Raw to explain his whole issue with Sheamus, because he explained it in the promo against Trick, where he was like, the first time I ever tried to trust anybody, I got a stupid nickname and I was devalued, and now I'm really pissed. He just needs to say that on Monday Night Raw, on the actual show more people are watching.
Is there a possibility maybe we see Sheamus on NXT to get Pete Dunne back? You want to bother me during my match? How about I bother you during yours?
I mean, we've seen the main roster stars frequent over on NXT, so why not?
Enjoy a day in Florida, Shamey. Come on.
He lives there already, so
yeah,
shit.
There you go.
Why not?
Shit.
Why not? Why not? We got Safed who really enjoyed this matchup, says it was great. We got Emmanuel who says the match slapped, literally, absolutely. They were slapping, chopping the shit out of each other. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda says low-key miss Fabian Eichner and his double moonsault, his double springboard moonsault. I think he's talking about Giovanni Vinci. I mean, I need him to come back and just totally forget that they attacked him. Like, they're not using him on SmackDown, and they never will. He's better off in Imperium.
It's like that. I don't know if you watch Seinfeld, but the one Seinfeld episode where George quits his job and then shows up on Monday at the table like it never happened.
That's what I need. That's what I need. Detective Jimmy, I did call this. I did an article for WrestleTalk.com that Sheamus is going to face a lot of people, I think, in this reign that he has history with. And Sheamus is
Gunther.
Gunther, excuse me. Gunther is going to face a lot of people from his past in this reign. We had earlier Ilya Dragunov, Sami Zayn, but Sheamus is another one that I named in that article. Give me another Sheamus and Gunther, even though Sheamus loses to Gunther way too much, but just give it to me one more time, please.
Raw is lined up with people that Gunther has history. I mean, you just talked about Sheamus. The guy that's right there, Pete Dunne, also has history with Gunther. Although he's not ready for a world title shot, but they ever ran that back. Watch out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was a Wyatt Sicks video package. This was really well done. This was one of the better. This was one of the better videos that they've done. It was voiced over and narrated by Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas. We get
who sounded just like Bray. I was like, wait a second, this is Bo.
For a minute, I did think it was Bray Wyatt, and then I was like, oh no, this is Bo. We see the original Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper debuting 11 years ago in Baltimore, Maryland, when the Wyatts debuted on the main roster and took out Kane. We also get pictures and glimpses and clips of the Wyatt Sicks and everything they've done since they have arrived on Monday Night Raw. He was narrating it so well, talking about all their grief and all their loss has brought them together, and they will make something beautiful. This was really, really well done. Love this video package. What did you think?
Yes, it was, and it made it make sense why the main event was the main event. Yeah. Although, in hindsight, there was a much hotter segment that would have made a great main event. Any other show?
Are we thinking?
We're thinking the same. Yes.
Yeah. I agree. But we also got mention of Roman Reigns returning for the second time in the broadcast. They aired a few more clips from SummerSlam of the SmackDown matches, and then we got the aforementioned former World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest marched down to the ring, and he did not look happy after what went down at SummerSlam. He calls out Finn Balor to catch this beating like a man. The crowd was loudly behind Priest coming off the heels of his great matchup with Gunther at the pay-per-view. Priest said that Balor wasn't a prince. He was a backstabbing coward. He said that Priest was now on his own, and he has been on his own for most of his life until he found the Judgment Day, and they felt like family to him. But however, after seeing the reaction of the fans, he knew they were his new family, so he introduced Balor to his new family. He was pissed that Balor took the title from him and from them. Priest wouldn't let that stand, and he called Balor out one more time, and then Finn appeared on the Titantron in a dark room, all gloomy with a purple light. Balor said, Priest brought this on himself. Balor didn't betray him. Priest betrayed the Judgment Day. Judgment Day wasn't meant to have a leader. But everything changed once he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Balor almost became a champion himself a year ago. After he lost, and he shows the picture of Priest looking at him after he lost to Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 2023.
Oh, what a baby.
He tells us after he lost, Priest told him that it's time to man up. And Balor says that he waited a full year and he did man up. I screwed you and I screwed your family. Priest was now just a loser from the street. So Balor didn't plan on fighting him. He said, no, actually, it's going to be JD McDonagh. He would fight him because he's earned it. He was like, Priest never accepted him. So now tonight, he's going to get revenge for that. And Balor says that he instead is going to wait until Priest felt comfortable, until he'd almost forgotten about Finn. Balor would wait until Priest's back was turned and he would stab him in it again and again and again.
You piece of shit.
And he wouldn't be alone.
I
love this reveal. This was a great reveal when the camera panned out and you see JD, Carlito, Dominic Mysterio,
Asshole 3,
and Liv Morgan show up behind Balor. This got an awesome reaction from the fans as well. And he says that he has a new family now, and it's a new Judgment Day. The Priest was pissed. He marched out of the ring towards the back. I thought Balor was excellent here. This was an excellent explanation.
Putting Balor back?
I wanted them to say that this was a long game, that he infiltrated the Judgment Day for them to get rid of their real leader, and then there wouldn't be any leaders in the Judgment Day anymore, and then everything changed when Finn won the title. I think that's the only thing that I would tweak a little bit, that it was his plan from the very beginning to use the Judgment Day to get to the world title. And then when he failed to win the world title, he had that resentment in him against Priest because he was the reason why he didn't win both of those matches against Seth Rollins. And he did the long game of waiting a whole year after SummerSlam to get his revenge on Priest. But this was so well done, and the reaction for the new Judgment Day. And this, oh my God. I was like, yo, this is the United Nations of unloyal niggas. Oh my God. You got JD. You got JD who snuck his way in here. I love the story of JD and Finn, that JD Priest never wanted JD in the group. He only accepted him because of Balor's cosign, because he felt like Balor was his brother, but JD was never on Priest's side to begin with. You got Dominic, who's just so with Liv Morgan and kind of flaunting it in the face of Rhea. And you got Carlito, who's just been wanting to be in the group, and now he's officially in the group because they don't have the other Puerto Rican in it anymore. He just wanted to replace the other Puerto Rican here.
Finn kept him to show he's not racist. Yeah. The hell is this, man? This is.
What did you think?
This is not the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day is Damian and Rhea, the OGs. They let Finn in. They let him in. We could talk about that.
Exactly.
Where they turned on Edge.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. That's my only like tweak, that it should have been his. This should have been his plan from the very beginning, that they get rid of the real leader of the Judgment Day. Then there's no leaders in the Judgment Day, but he's really just using the group to get himself back to the top. But then when he fails at that, that's when his resentment of Priest started.
It's so amazing because like the Judgment Day technically was heel. And now they've made it where they turned even more heel. Like a heel turn off a heel turn. That's hard to pull off. That's pretty good. Did Finn's explanation to me make sense? Yeah. Did it piss me off? Yes. Because two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, that's the point.
Two things can be true at the same time. It pissed me off because you want this revenge, this year-long revenge. And like they make Priest to seem like such a bad guy. Like, yeah, okay, was he coming off a little bit more like the leader? Yeah, some nights, a lot of nights.
But no, he was freaking yoking up Finn. How many times did he yoke up Finn? It was a couple of different times. But Backlash at SummerSlam.
But was he like the worst guy in the world that you want to get your revenge on for a year? No, I didn't get that impression. He's still your brother. Week after week. Like he was still trying to do good for the group. So like it's that part of it pisses me off. Like, but that's good. That's good shit that it pisses me off because it's good heel shit. I like that. And the rest of the slime behind them, JD, Carlito, this piece of trash. What the hell, Carlito? I thought Puerto Rican's supposed to stick together. And this guy's just flinging his eyeball. I'm like, this prick. And then Dominic, oh my God. The luckiest guy in the world, Dom. This guy's got the luckiest job every Monday. Are you kidding me? Sheesh. Damian was great though, with the talking to the crowd, like y'all my family now. He went full what's his name from Fast and the Furious? Toretto?
Dominic Toretto, yeah.
Hilarious that his name is Dominic. Wow, that's funny. He went full, he had the whole look, he had the tank top, he had the chain. It's like y'all my family now. He did good, and the crowd loved Priest. They wanted him to get his revenge all night long. They were behind Priest. They got something here, something good with the babyface Priest.
Detective Jimmy, who says, "I hope we get the Dom and Liv explanation on Rhea, because that should be just as good. Where Dom never got over what Rhea did to him. Yeah, Dom was in an abusive relationship. That's why he left her.
I like that they didn't give everything all the way at the same night. Save something.
Yeah. It's best to save something. I saw it coming though with what would happen later. I was like, as soon as Dom and Liv got to read the attack Priest, I was like, oh, I know who's coming down. This is great.
They got so much storyline lined up for all these guys, Priest and Rhea. Like Priest has to get through the entire Judgment Day to get to Finn. You hope they could stretch it out long enough to get to Mania. That's a Mania match to me. Yeah. Or at least
they can do
part of the series.
They could probably do like the first matchup between them at like Crown Jewel and then do a stip at Mania.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the first match, but at least if not the first, then the culmination. But and Rhea's lined up too. Like Rhea. Well, we'll talk about Rhea. We'll talk about Rhea later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few. But this was a great start to what would be the further fallout of the implosion of Judgment Day from SummerSlam. Yes, really great stuff. And I've been seeing people kind of shit on this new Judgment Day. I think it has potential where you can elevate someone like JD into a more prominent role in the group. Finn, just off of the heat that he got on this show, I think, and his great job of explaining himself and his portrayal, I think that he can once again get a revitalization as a top guy in WWE. Thanks to
I feel like it's already happened.
I don't think it's already happened. I think he's working his way back up. I don't think he's there yet because they gave him too many major losses, including just last week. So he's got to work his way back up.
Buy your Finn Balor stock now. I believe this is gonna be good. Heel Finn in charge of the Judgment Day now. And you know, he's only going to get betrayed too. He's a bunch of slimy scumbags in this group. Slimy scumbags, except for Liv Morgan. She's perfect.
Yeah. I love that. I love Chilling with Chase. It says, what's better? Taboo Bloodline or Wish Judgment Day?
Judgment Day is better, even though they piss me off right now. Piss me off. Turning on Damian.
That's the point. That's the point.
I still got to watch this Damian documentary. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, I have to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. After this. I'm gonna start work, but I'm gonna watch USA basketball because it's quarterfinal time. But
I heard people enjoyed it.
Maybe later or tomorrow. I'll get through it. We might need to review that on the channel, or at least
people
on
enjoy
Patreon.
it, man.
We'll do that. If you let us know in the chat you want enough, maybe we'll do it for the Patreon or the members of the channel. Me and Romeo reviewing that if we got time. But next up, we get backstage and we see Adam Pearce is in the back, and Bronson Reed confronts him. He was annoyed that he didn't have a match tonight after beating Sheamus, while Sheamus had a match after he beat him last week. Pearce tried to reason with him and explain, but Reed said he knew now that he'd have to create his own path to the top. I thought nothing of this segment until later in the show, where I was like, oh, that was a good setup. That was a good setup because I didn't see that coming.
Because Bronson Reed makes a statement to Adam Pearce once every couple weeks.
Yes. It's
we'll go over Bronson segment later.
I got nothing to think about this until oh man, it's just changed throughout that whole segment. We'll get into it. Next up, we had Lyra Valkyria going one-on-one with Shayna Baszler with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark in her corner. This was a quick one. Valkyria fended off some interference from the stud line for a bit until she hit Baszler with the Nightwing, and then Deville and Stark broke up the cover for the DQ. This match went 2.5 minutes. Post-match, you get Damage Control. They show up to a pretty good babyface pop. And might I just add, Kairi Sane put on the Jets to get to the. She beat everyone.
She's like Roadrunner.
She beat everyone to the ring. Yeah, I was like, Kairi's just happy to be a babyface again. She's like, I'm gonna speed down to the ring. They take down Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya, and they hold down the ring. I'm digging this babyface Damage Control that started last week so far. Any thoughts?
Yeah, this was too short. It's more like an angle more than a wrestling match. Michael Cole was hilarious trying to explain Lyra Valkyria's gimmick. Did you hear all that?
Oh, I didn't even try to hear.
It's a bit much. It's like talking about feathers and ancient goddesses and.
Michael Cole was trying his best on this episode, though. His best work was the main event. He did a great job of explaining the Wyatt Sicks members, but this was nah. I was like, dog, you're not gonna make me care until y'all really focus on what the hell do y'all want out of this Lyra Valkyria character. I get what y'all going for, but it hasn't been fleshed out yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like her in the ring, and once again, she did that move. No yelling at her opponent this time again. Wonderful. That's all.
Shayna knew.
Shayna knew what to do. Shayna knew what to do. Kairi, she ran there so fast. She looks back like slow as fuck. Well, let's go. Ready to go.
EO had to put the Jets on, and Dakota was like, "Man, my knees are bad. What y'all doing? What y'all doing?" Oh man, Detective Jimmy, great analogy. Saying Rhea turned Dom into the monster, like how Kreese turned Silva back to his old ways. Absolutely, that's a great Cobra Kai. Gotta watch.
Never seen it.
Gotta watch Cobra Kai. It's a good show. It's a good show.
I think it's on my list.
You would like it.
I gotta see Karate Kid first, though.
Oh my god!
So Karate Kid is ahead of it. How many Karate Kids are there? One?
There's 3.
Do I need to watch all 3?
No. Honestly, you don't need to watch any of them to watch Cobra Kai. You still enjoy Cobra Kai. But I did that. I remember watching Karate Kid as a kid, and then me and my missus, I think when Harlem had to be like 1-2 years old, she's the one that was like, oh, why don't we watch this on Netflix? And we watched like the first couple of episodes. I was into it. She totally was like, no, I'm gonna tap out here. I'm not into this.
Wow.
But I got I got into it because very much Cobra Kai is pretty much pro wrestling. Me and Jeremy have been talking about it on FMC. There's babyface turns, there's heel turns, there's babyface and heels, there's factions, there's all types of shit. It's just pro wrestling, but with karate. And it's
How many
so
seasons?
over the top. 6 seasons now.
Whoa, how many episodes season?
10 a season.
Okay.
You can get through it pretty quick because there's only half-hour episodes.
Oh,
so 5 hours a season, basically. But we get a pre-tape promo here from Karrion Kross and the Final Testament. He talks about Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, saying that Kofi Kingston is now back. And now Xavier Woods has his tag team partner. But how long is it going to take before Kofi leaves Xavier behind? Foreshadowing. He claimed we'd witness the death of the New Day tonight. Any thoughts on your guy?
Well, I did ask. Just let Karen keep talking every week. And they've abided by my wishes. Although it's hilarious. They show this close-up of Paul Ellering and he's just smiling. That's all he does. Even Scarlett don't get a word in either, too. Scarlett was too oogly boogly, as Chase says. So maybe that's why they kept keeping her quiet now. Too super natural stuff. They're trying to ground Karrion Kross with this storyline. And I just love that his obsession, it's not about a title or winning matches. It's about breaking up the New Day. I'm tired of the New Day. I just want to break them up. I want to show Xavier Woods his worth. And boy, oh boy, he ends up having a solid case later on.
Yeah. And Xavier was like, I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about that segment when we get to that.
Detective Jimmy says 3 Karate Kids movies, and it's nice to watch the movies as it makes the show more enjoyable to watch. That is true, because like I said, I started watching the Cobra Kai, I think right before season 3. I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix right before season 3, and then after I finished season 3, I went back and watched all 3 Karate Kids, and definitely it does make everything make more sense and more enjoyable for sure. And no Power Drive finisher. Don't throw up the chat because some people might believe you and think that the Jaden Smith Karate Kid is the best one, or you think that. Killer with Chase says, Romeo, they recap the movies well in the show. The movies just add some context. That is true. And we also got Mr. Bonda, who says, I love to see AOP without that albatross carrying. Jesus.
No. Stop. Yeah. You gotta treat my guy Karrion with some respect. It's carrying the storyline, pun intended. And they you got what you wanted. They finally did something different this episode of Raw. Finally.
Yeah. If it actually, like I was like, this might be the first time that I actually have to recap what happened with New Day and Final Testament on True Hill Heat. Because like we're gonna do on True Hill Heat. I only talk about the major stuff that happens on each show when we do what we miss. And usually New Day and Karrion Kross are not included in that. So
this is newsworthy.
This was newsworthy for sure. But first, we get another backstage segment. This time, it's Ivy Nile is backstage talking to the Creeds when Maxine Dupree shows up. She asks Ivy where she's been and has she been seeing how the Creeds have been attacking Alpha Academy. Ivy says that the guys are just really focused right now. And then Chad Gable shows up and says, why are you even talking to her? And he says, Maxine, you're worthless. He was like, go back to Otis and Tozawa. He was like, you guys can keep the Alpha Academy name, but Ivy, you need to come with us. And she leaves with Chad Gable.
I like this. Gable.
I like that he said y'all can keep the Alpha Academy name.
Yeah, Gable's great here. It just added character to Ivy Nile, a conflict to her because she likes Maxine, but she also likes her boys, the Creed Bros. She was making the most bullshit excuses, covering up for them. Like, oh my god, terrible. Yeah. And Gable's like, you you guys are losers, we're gonna be winners, and that does not age well at all.
No, it does not.
I wonder if he's gonna have the same energy with the Creed brothers that he has with the Alpha Cat.
I don't think he will.
It'd be funny if he did.
It would.
You guys are losers too. Do I need to find two more? Then he's not going to take any responsibility for himself. Any.
And he's the one that lost. So like, but up next we get CM Punk coming out to the ring. He comes out to a huge
he was
ovation.
on the show. I forgot.
Huge ovation from the Baltimore crowd. Punk congratulated Bilal Muhammad on his victory, becoming
Exactly. No pop. They got no pop from the crowd. I know who he is, but this crowd's like, who?
Becoming a UFC champion, and he says that he knows that a lot of people might be asking, why is he smiling? Why is he smiling after SummerSlam? Punk likes seeing good things happen to good people. And Punk was in a good mood despite what happened at SummerSlam. He was in Baltimore for the first time in 10 years, and he couldn't help but feel good hearing a sold-out crowd chant his name. Losing didn't make him happy, but SummerSlam was not a guarantee for him. Neither was Raw in Baltimore. And he figured many people loved him because he didn't stay down. But there were some in the company who hated him for the fact that he wouldn't stay down. Just when he had his monumental return, it was all taken away from him in January. But he was in a good mood because he was told he would recover in 9 months, but he did it in 5. Phil, I just wanted to let you know, you told me to tell you this. You're telling a lie because it was more like 6 months. So you told us to tell you when you're telling a lie. That was a lie. It was not 5 months. It was more like 6. You had the surgery in February. You came back in August. 6 months, not 5. I know math is hard. He says Drew McIntyre hurt him, and that doesn't matter. He says, but the fact that he gloated about it made it personal. Punk was happy to be back because for some people, their road to WrestleMania began in January, but not him. His summer of hate didn't start the way he wanted, but he noted it was still summer. And the fans deserved less CM Punk talking and more CM Punk fighting. Punk wanted McIntyre for round 2. McIntyre claimed he wouldn't stop until Punk's heart stopped. But his heart was still it was still beating. He's still standing. His blood was still pumping. And he wants McIntyre out here, right now. But instead, the music of Seth freaking Rollins hits. Rollins wore all black leather coming down to the ring. He had a stern demeanor. He stared a hole through Punk. He removed his shades and slowly removed his jacket to reveal he's not wearing a referee shirt. He's not wearing no shirt at all. He came ready to fight. Rollins gets on the mic and says they were both in a good mood because after 10 long years, it was finally time for him to put Punk in the dirt. Punk called him into the ring and they were ready to fight. Rollins says, you're going to let me come into the ring? And Punk says, well, you're dressed like a cowboy. I'll be your Huckleberry. He backed up. They came ready to fight. Rollins was about to go through the ropes to fight Punk when we heard Drew McIntyre on the mic. McIntyre was in the crowd and he gloated about his win over Punk at SummerSlam. He says with Rollins counting the fall for the match, McIntyre said, Punk proved he still had it in the ring, but you're no longer the best in the world. I am. He said he still didn't get the attention of neither Rollins or Punk, who were staring holes through one another. I was just like, why don't y'all just fight? He can't stop you from the crowd. McIntyre then got Punk's attention. He showed the bracelets that triggered CM Punk at SummerSlam. And he says that he still had Punk's stupid-looking dog, Larry, and his lovely wife, AJ, at his side. Punk got pissed, and he sprinted through the crowd after McIntyre. Meanwhile, Rollins in the ring was attacked from behind by Bronson Reed. Rollins tried to fight back. He hits a super kick, but Reed hits him with a big Death Valley driver. He has consecutive sentons. And then he goes to the top rope and he hits a huge tsunami. He goes right back up to the top rope and he hits a second tsunami. The crowd were really into this. Seth sold this huge It looks like Reed is about to leave, but he goes for a third tsunami just as officials ran out to check on Rollins. We get Reed. He's backed up by the officials. However, Reed runs back to the ring and he hits a fourth tsunami. He goes back up a fifth time. Every time after the third one, this crowd just became crazier and crazier, louder and louder. On the fifth tsunami, they are erupting. Just when it seems like he's done, they say one more time. I was like, these crowds are bloodthirsty. This is ridiculous.
Fickle as so fickle. Just a few minutes ago, they were like, whoa, welcome, one more time.
Reed looks like he's just gonna pose on the ropes. Then he hits a sixth tsunami. The crowd were on their feet. They're going crazy. Rollins is spitting up blood as Reed has totally destroyed him, crashed his insides. Rollins is suffering internal bleeding. Reed was about to leave, but then he gets on the ropes on top from the other side. He looks like he's going for a seventh tsunami, but then the officials finally find some sense. They figure out it might be a good idea to roll Rollins out of harm's way. This was an incredible segment. This is one of the best one night angles to heat somebody up. Someone who has been a perennial mid-carder on Monday Night Raw felt like a main eventer in one segment. By the time he hits that third tsunami, this crowd elevated this segment. They were erupting because Seth sold this amazingly. Commentary, Michael Cole was getting apoplectic. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The officials in the ring were just scattering like a meteor was about to hit them, and they just ran out the way with no regard to help out Seth Rollins until he took 6 tsunamis. Yo, this was one of the best angles on Raw of the year. Bronson Reed feels like a certified made man, and I feel like they got to keep this going. They got to find, these can't be the best analogy to it, and I think it was Meltzer and Alvarez that made the comparison. They can't make this a Shinsuke Nakamura push where Nakamura got built up to take losses to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. You got to put him over Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is not the world heavyweight champion. You have to get Bronson Reed at least a win over Seth Rollins to have him have a chance at really kind of cementing this push and cementing himself as a main event star. But this was an absolutely tremendous angle for Bronson Reed, who was awesome here.
Well, guess what? It ain't gonna lead to nothing. Because I've seen this fake Bronson Reed push before. Not in the matter.
No,
of
not like
fashion.
this. Not like this.
No.
But
I know I've seen nothing that makes me think Triple H likes Bronson Reed or he's gonna take him seriously and put him over someone big. Nothing. This is supposed to change my mind. I'm not falling for it. Now, should it? It absolutely should. You should take advantage of this. The crowd loves it so much. You should consider when he's done with Seth, if he's even going to face Seth. Maybe Seth just wants to go on vacation with Becky, fucking hang out for a month before he gets his revenge. You should consider using this for Bronson to go up against Braun or Gunther and have them beat him and put them over.
Come on, no. He's got to beat Seth. He's got to beat Seth because then we can get a few months, because I literally, when Seth came out to interrupt Punk, I was like, well, someone's got to come out here and attack Seth Rollins to get him off the CM Punk direction, because I don't think you want to pull the trigger on Punk and Rollins until next year, until WrestleMania, pretty much. So you got to have him diverted. You know, Punk is already going to be distracted with Drew McIntyre. Now Seth needs something. So I literally called this when Seth was coming down. I said to Jimmy, I was like, someone's got to come out and attack Seth to get him diverted off of Punk, because now he's laser focused on Punk. Punk had his matchup with Drew. He thinks that Punk is all his now. Someone's got to come in and distract him from that. This was the type of distraction. This was even better than I thought it would be. But the way you draw this out for a couple of months where you can pretty much get this feud to at least like Crown Jewel or even Survivor Series is Bronson Reed has to beat Seth Rollins. Bash at Berlin or Bad Blood, he has to get the win over Seth Rollins.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening. It's not happening. This is the most Bronson's going to get. It's these moments outside of the ring. He is not going to get any major wins. Seth Rollins is going to kick his ass. Kick his ass when he comes back, whatever that is. I don't see Bronson Reed getting any major victories. I don't think it's in the cards. Should he? At least one. Just to see. He could be Seth. Who cares? Seth will be fine. He'll be fine. It's not even WrestleMania season. He'll get it back.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to remember.
Seth will be fine. He'll get Bronson Reed should get the win over Seth Rollins. No, he should get the win.
His ass. Watch. Whenever that is. I think Seth's going on a little vacation here. He shouldn't be back for at least 2 weeks.
I agree with Mr. Bonda. This is the best that Bronson Reed has looked since he beat Katsuhiko Okada in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
100%. This is his best WWE moment because I don't even know what to compare it to.
Yeah. We got.
Oh, by the way, the completely overshadowed the talking segment. I didn't even talk about that.
Because Punk was lying. I saw you walked away, but I was like, Punk, you lied already. I was like, you told me to tell you when you're telling lies. You're telling lies. You did not come back in 5 months. You came back in you could say 6 because you got surgery in February. You came back at the end of August. I was like, I know math is hard, but you did lie.
I thought Punk did okay. Other than that, I think he's strongly alluding or hinting a last man standing match with Drew McIntyre since he's still standing. He kept saying that. And Drew McIntyre, I burst out in laughter when this guy comes down the steps in the crowd and is like, guys, why so negative? Because this asshole was the most negative Nancy on Raw for about 2 months? More than that?
Yes. He's been the most negative person. He's a toxic individual.
He's the happiest. Oh, I busted out laughing. Oh my goodness.
He's great in this.
Great stuff from Drew.
Yes.
You know what else I saw? I saw a fan on Twitter. She did a meet and greet with CM Punk. She's the one who gave him this bracelet. And she was wondering, hey, can I get any what's the word? Residuals or can I get paid off of this storyline?
It's like, you're using my work as a big tool in this storyline. How about I get some of that? I agree. She deserves
fun
some
story.
love.
Fun fact.
Yes. Chilling with Chase says Triple H likes Reed. He used one of the earliest chances to get him back. That's true.
He likes him to an extent. What are his major wins? Has he won a title? What's he won? He's won the. Did he win the North?
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
There you go.
Since he's been back,
likes him to an extent. Yeah,
he won the North American title in NXT. Safet says it felt like an Attitude Era type sneak attack. The crowd reacted to it like it was an Attitude Era type sneak attack. That's for sure.
Crowd ate this up. That commentary was great. Michael Cole was outstanding. Call the National Guard. Put somebody tranquilize him. He said some crazy shit during this.
Yo, he was going off. Yo,
for real. Cole. Like, can somebody stop this? Anybody? Nobody could.
What are we doing? What are you guys doing?
This was vintage Cole at his best. Great shit.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard him this angry since Saturday when freaking Dom turned. So.
We get Jackie Redmond backstage asking Adam Pearce for an update. He says Rollins, it didn't look good. Rollins would be on his way to the hospital, not the local medical facility, to the hospital.
Thank goodness. That guy needs a hospital, not a medical facility.
It's true. Because there was a fear of internal bleeding. I love that Cole and McAfee called him out. He was like, he was literally coughing up blood. Like, what are we talking about? There's a
fear.
There's a fear. Punk then was storming by backstage and through the back, but Pearce cut him off and told him that he already walked McIntyre out of the building. Punk said, well, I just wanted to talk to him. Okay, Phil, you told me to tell you this. You're telling a lie. You did not just want to talk. You wanted
You saw what he
to
did with
whoop
his hands.
ass. Yeah.
You saw what he did with his hands?
Yeah.
Take the picture. He's like, I just want to talk to him.
Just want to talk to him.
Yeah, so like you talked to Jack Perry, huh?
Exactly. Up next was your favorites, the Final Testament. We got AOP going up against Kofi Kingston and Xavier was the New Day. Kofi Kingston making his return from his arm injury. They came out with Ninja Turtle action figures that the Elite Collection series, which has Roman Reigns as Shredder and Xavier as Donatello and Kofi as Michelangelo. Did you not see that movie either?
Which Ninja Turtles?
Any of them.
I'm sure I've seen one a long time ago, but I don't remember it, so I've never seen it.
I love it every single time. Cross interfered during this matchup as Razor was on his back foot with Woods going to the top rope. Cross took him down and he crotched him. This led to, for the first time in 2 years of being on the main roster, Odyssey Jones appeared wearing a New Day shirt. He
Big
took
O.
out Cross. He took the Big O. Yes, he took out Cross, throwing him into the barricade. This distracted Razor enough for Xavier Woods to roll him up and get the pinfall win. Final Testament attacked the Xavier and Kofi after the matchup, but this led to Odyssey Jones getting into the ring. Odyssey Jones fight back. He hits a pair of clothesline. Then he actually picks up Big O, Akam, and Razor at the same time for a double side slam. The crowd popped huge for that one. You get Karrion Kross comes in and tries to fight him back, but he hits a black hole slam on Karrion Kross and the Final Testament bail. We then get Kofi Kingston coming into the ring to celebrate with Jones. He's all pumped up while Woods kind of looks confused, like, what is this all about? We did get later on Kofi celebrating with Jones backstage. Jones says that he was honored to help out the New Day. Kingston then introduces Jones to Woods, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were friends." They shake hands, and Jones said that they bumped into each other at the Performance Center. Kofi says that he saw him in the Performance Center, and he was like that we needed help with the Final Testament, and Jones offered his help. Alpha Academy then joins them, and Tozawa says, "Ooh, Xavier, that is nasty." And they start all doing a dance together. Really good debut for Odyssey Jones. And I like him being in this storyline. And it does seem like we are going to get what they've been teasing for months now. I think we're going to get Xavier Woods turning on Kofi. And then it's Odyssey Jones and Kofi as the New Day.
And now the storyline has something cooking.
Now we actually look like we got to chapter 2.
Oh man. A lot of things to say here. Odyssey Jones looked impressive. He looked good. I don't think he's never looked that impressive. The little I've seen of him. I saw on Twitter that he's been working with Natty and TJ. So Natty had glowing things to say about his hard work. So good for him. He's already wearing the New Day shirt. Like Xavier Woods has every single reason to be a little peeved, annoyed right now. Why wouldn't your good buddy Kofi tell you what he was going to do? Like that seems very this is much more reason than what Finn Balor So Xavier Woods, by this time next year, Xavier Woods his plan will have come to fruition. He will turn on Kofi Kingston, and then he will remind him what happened 1 year ago. Watch, yep. You'll see. But man, I need Big E to take out this imposter, the Big O. What is this? He's wearing the New Day shirt. It's like, oh, this is already us. It's already a we. Oh, we're the New Day now. He's singing the songs. He's dancing. Like, you've been here for one segment.
A cup of coffee.
But he did show a little personality, a little charisma. So you're definitely going to need that if you're going to be in the New Day.
Yeah. I'm hoping
But-
for the best for him. He seems like a good guy, so I'm hoping for the best.
Break him
I've
up.
always liked him, even since his days in NXT.
I'm all for Xavier Woods turning now. Oh, it's so justified. That's so messed up. How you don't tell him?
But does Xavier join the Final Testament? Because I think that's his only shot of still being all right. He has to be in a group. I don't know if
I think it makes more sense.
can on his
Yes.
own. Yeah.
It makes more sense because Karen was trying to tell him the whole time. Why would you not? And then that would help out the Final Testament.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It would.
It's all of a sudden I'm intrigued, you know.
Yeah,
I was low-key intrigued. Now I'm more higher intrigued.
This was the first time that they had a notable segment. A worth noting for True Hill Heat on Saturday. So I'll give them that.
There we go.
We get JD McDonagh with a pre-tape promo. McDonagh said that Priest was only champion as long as he was in Judgment Day. McDonagh sacrificed his body for Priest, but Priest never even wanted him in their group. We even see him choking him up from last year. Balor trusted him more than Priest, and McDonagh was in the Judgment Day now, and Priest wasn't. McDonagh was a champion, and Priest wasn't, and McDonagh would make Priest suffer tonight.
This was good.
This was a good promo. Like, I enjoyed it. I was like, this was a good explanation for why JD is still aligned with Balor, because he has his own personal gripe against Priest himself.
He was really good. I loved how he was talking about my favorite part of this weekend was you watching the replay. I loved it. JD was a good heel here. And he was just getting started last night.
Agreed. Yeah, that is true. Kofi not telling Woods seems strange, says Jamie Williams. Yep. Kofi hasn't been coming off well in this whole storyline.
And another thing about Kofi. Did you see his tweet?
No.
He was pretty much mocking the Judgment Day for breaking up. And he was
yeah, I saw that.
Never be the New Day. The New Day's still the longest reigning, faction. Oh, what a curse.
That's going to age well. I don't think that's going to age well.
Bookmark that tweet.
Next up, we get on loan from SmackDown, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, A-Town Down Under versus former World Tag Team Champions R-Truth and The Miz, Awesome Truth. They had a match that you'd expect. Miz was in control, but then Truth tagged himself in for some reason. He winds up picking Waller up for the AA and accidentally knocking Miz out of the ring in the process. Waller wasn't even the legal man, so he hits him with the AA, which leads to Theory coming in. He hits A-Town down for the 1-2-3. A-Town Down Under gets the win on Monday Night Raw, and Miz looked mighty upset, but he gets into the ring and he hugs Truth anyway. I thought this Raw was so noteworthy that we would have another noteworthy moment, and I thought Miz was going to turn on Truth here, but we didn't get that. So this won't be in the notes for True Hill Heat on Saturday.
Everybody turn on everybody because it's just coming. It's on the way.
It's coming.
Another turn.
Yeah, it was like, let's spread it out. I think we had enough turns on Saturday, so let's spread it out.
I have a question because I don't watch SmackDown too often. Day it falls on. I never have time. But weren't they teasing that Theory was going to turn on Waller? What happened to that?
Yes. I guess they're saving it. I don't know.
We're like, wait a second. We've had too many turns here in the booking. We need to back out of one of these at least.
I think they heard me on True Hill Heat say it so many times. This isn't going to work. Do not break these guys up. These guys
they
are
should stay together.
Mid-card heel tag team, and neither one of them are baby faces. So let's just keep them together.
And there's no room right now to push them as single stars. So I like them where they are.
Yeah, we didn't need this match, says Emmanuel.
But the crowd was into it again, as much as they could get into this match.
Yeah, they were probably more into this than the women's matches on the card, to be fair.
But even versus a normal crowd for those women's matches, they were better.
Yeah, they were.
That's how good this crowd was.
Yeah. We hear from Damian Priest in a pre-tape promo in response to McDonagh. Priest said that Balor was the only one who wanted McDonagh in the Judgment Day. McDonagh had a small brain for someone with such a big head.
Burn.
McDonagh didn't realize he was being sent by Balor into to catch the first bullet. But I have a lot left in the chamber for Balor. Priest plans on sending McDonagh straight to hell. Really good promos from both guys before their matchup here.
Priest
And
brought
like I
out the
said,
New Yorker
this
in this one.
after these pre-tape promos, I was like, this feels more like the main event than what we're gonna get.
On any other night, it should have main evented, but because of the connection the Wyatt family debut had with Baltimore, that's why they went that direction. But Priest delivered again. This is the most New York I've ever heard him sound. He was really hood with this one. He did not like himself, no JD McDonagh. That line about his head being so big, but his brain being so tiny, cooked.
Kathy Kelly interviewed Braun Breaker. Kelly asked if he was prepared for the onslaught of superstars who would be coming for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun noticed how many wrestlers like to talk about how long they've held the title, how many days, how many years, whatever. It's been under 3 years since he debuted on WWE television, not Raw or SmackDown, but NXT. And it took less than 3 years to win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. As far as he was concerned, he was the hunter still, and everyone else was the hunted. I'm coming for everyone, and he felt sorry for everyone else. A lot of people thought he was born for this moment, but he wasn't. The title was born for him. He showed us his nameplate and said no man could take his name off of his title. Good promo by Braun. He's getting better with each of these promos.
Yeah, it was fine. And he just looks like a champion. The way he holds the title is just so natural. Get used to it, folks. You can see a lot of that.
Indeed. And then we had Damian Priest going one-on-one with JD McDonagh. They gave McDonagh a lot in this matchup. He reverses the South of Heaven, and he starts laying in the offense on Priest. He's a beautiful moonsault off the top rope for a near fall. Priest was too preoccupied with Carlitos, so McDonagh shoves him into the ring post. He hits a nice little suicide dive. McDonagh hit a moonsault following the break for two. The crowd is chanting JD sucks, loud JD sucks chants. Priest makes his comeback. He hits a big fat liner. He no-sells. McDonagh slaps. Priest hits an elbow strike and a Falcon Arrow, nearly taking JD halfway across the ring. McDonagh rolled outside, so Priest shoved him over the announce table before rolling him back in the ring. Priest hit a big old clothesline, turning McDonagh inside out before kicking Carlito off the apron. Priest set up for the South of Heaven, but Finn Balor attacked from behind to cause the disqualification. Priest sat up, seeing Balor for the first time face to face, but everyone swarmed him. The Judgment Day came in to attack, including Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. Priest fought them off and got his hands on Balor. It looked like he was going to get his revenge on Finn Balor early. He got him up for the Razor's Edge, but it was Liv Morgan who made the save, snatching or yanking Balor down as Morgan got into Priest's face. Dom chop blocks Priest from behind. They start laying the boost to Priest, and then out comes Rhea Ripley to a huge pop from this fans. She comes out. She runs after Dom and Liv, who try to escape through the crowd. She catches up to Liv. She takes care of her, throwing her into the ring post. She looks like she's about to powerbomb Liv through the announce table, but Dom grabs Liv and they escape. That left JD McDonagh alone in the ring with both Rhea and Priest. Rhea says hi to JD, headbutts him right in his big old dome, and then Priest gives him one of the best looking South of Heaven choke slams. JD got so much height on this, and this crowd was super hot for all of this as the Terror Twins stand tall. They get a huge ovation from the crowd. They loved Ripley. They were totally into Damian Priest. You would have thought Damian Priest was the biggest babyface in this company during the matchup and during the post-match. He's become such a sympathetic figure, such a fan favorite. This was Attitude S at his best, even more than the Bronson Reed attack on Seth Rollins. I thought that this was Attitude S to the umpteenth degree. Everybody felt over. The crowd was hot. You got run-ins, you got different elements, and it leaves you wanting more of the fallout of the implosion of the Judgment Day. An A++ segment here. This was great.
to also go with the match was a hell of a match too. This was like this should have closed Raw. All of this together would have been a perfect ending to any regular Raw. But this, man, so I'm going into this match like I'm a fan now because I'm so on Damian Priest's side, and I'm so pissed off at the Judgment Day. I want to see him and fucking JD. I want to see Priest destroy JD. And they were physical with each other, slapping the shit out of each other. It felt like real heat between them. And JD was amazing playing his part. I didn't mind all the offense he got because he's pissed off too. He never liked Damian, so I understood that. They had a good match, and the ending was exactly what it needed to be. Priest got the like he has the family with the fans, but he also has his sister, Real Rip, and the people. They wanted that so bad. Once Liv started putting the beady beats on them, they wanted Rhea so bad. They wanted Mommy. That music hit, bang, everything that happened after. You tease Rhea getting her, revenge, but you hold off on it. They got something special here. They got something cooking here with all this. Priest and Rhea, the Terror Twins. McAfee dropped that. They need to drop the merch. That's going to be a merch printer whenever that drops. Although Damian, he's still on his little interview on Raw Talk with Rhea. He still considers themselves the Judgment Day. Yeah, we're the Judgment Day. That's the fake Judgment Day. So I wonder if like you could lead up to this, like you could do like a mixed tag where it's for the Judgment Day. Whoever wins is the Judgment Day. And then I guess Damian and Rhea lose. They just call them the Terror Twins. Call them the Terror Twins and just print that merch. It's fine. But man, this is all so good. And that was a cool moment when Priest and Rhea, they're like looking at each other, and then Priest brings her in for a hug and gives her a kiss, and then they celebrate. The crowd goes crazy. 10 out of 10 segment and match. I loved it.
This was a 5-star segment. 5-star segment for this.
One of the segments of the year.
2 5-star segments in Bronson Reed on Seth Rollins and this. This was great stuff up and down the show, but this was one of the highlights of the entire show for sure. Annika says the pop that's gonna come when Rhea puts Dom through the table. Oh man, it's gonna be.
So here's what I think. I think the direction I would try to, man, can you stretch it out to Mania where it's like Rhea, I guess maybe wins the Rumble. I'm not thinking who should win the Rumble not right now, but Rhea and Liv, and like if Rhea wins, she gets Dom for 5 minutes alone in the ring or something like that, and then I'll have a stipulation for Rhea too. Like I don't know, she can never challenge for the title again or something like that. I don't know. I don't care. Something where she gets, because you could also just do Rhea versus Dom at WrestleMania. Rhea's not in the title.
You could. Either way, one of those things. I think that has to be the direction to get to at Mania. I think it's too big. Like, you could have some real fire with Rhea versus Dom in whatever manner you get to it, and I feel like that's WrestleMania worthy. Yes, it is. It is because it would be a 3-year storyline by that point. So yeah, so much investment there. Great stuff. An absolutely outstanding segment with the Judgment Day, with the fallout there. We get confirmation Roman Reigns will return to SmackDown on Friday.
They call the Roman Reigns returns graphics. We've missed you.
We see backstage, Sami Zayn is with Ilya Dragunov, and they're talking about you get Ilya reminding Sami that he was a champion who inspired others. Zayn thanked him and said that he would be a great champion too one day. Dragunov left, and Jey Uso entered the picture. Jay saw that Sami was down and he tried to cheer him up, and he said he'd shake it off and pick himself back up. And this one in particular felt like a hard pill to swallow to Sami. Jay said that he'll get his rematch and get his title back, but then Sami revealed he was just faking and he was in a good mood after all. Sami said that he told Jay that he already talked to Pierce about getting his rematch and he gets it next week. Jay was excited and said maybe he could become a double champion because after he's done with Braun, he wants them to finish their business with the Judgment Day and win the tag team titles. They did their handshake and it was made official next week on Monday Night Raw. Intercontinental Championship on the line in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. They're like, hey, we're going to make up for the time we missed out on at SummerSlam 2 out of 3 falls. Braun Breaker one-on-one with Sami Zayn. What did you think about this backstage segment there?
What a joke. What an absolute joke. Listen, am I going to love the match next Monday? Absolutely. 100%. But can I be a little critical here as far as logic goes? Sami Zayn lost in 5 minutes. What kind of rematch does he deserve?
Still Intercontinental Champion for what? For 4 months? Come on.
Okay, so you know who else deserves that same attitude? Damian Priest. Where's his rematch? Nowhere to be found.
Damian Priest didn't win any of his title defenses without cheating. so I think Sami was a better.
Logically, F this. Realistically, can't wait.
Realistically, can't wait. Big Red Dog says Judgment Day would feel like the A story for WWE now if it wasn't for Roman coming back. It's the A story on Raw, even though Gunther is the world champion. It's the A story.
Right. It's like 2 A stories, one for each show. But you see, like Roman, people love Roman. My goodness. Woo.
Yeah. Mr. Bonda says Sami and Jay as tag team champions. Now that's Usi. And I Make Beat says stoked 2 out of 3 falls can be so good. I agree. We get backstage. We see Damage Control is walking in the back when they're attacked by Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. They lay out Io and Kyrie and then attack the leg of Dakota Kai. They target her knee. Shayna stomps on it and then told her to stay out of their business. We then see after the commercial break, Sonya enters for her matchup and said there wouldn't be a match because Dakota Kai was under the weather. But Io Sky comes out and will be replacing her in the next matchup. This goes to a commercial break really early on. Deville paid tribute to SummerSlam by running her shoulder into the ring post first. Sky kicked her leg out of her leg and hit a missile drop kick. We get a small collection of fans who are chanting, "This is boring," and the other half of the fans are chanting for Io Sky. Deville responded with a knee strike. Sky hit a double knee strike in the corner, but Sonya put Deville's foot on the ropes. This led to Sky going to the Sky and taking out both Zoe and she took out Zoe and Sonya, while Kyrie did an elbow drop onto Shayna Baszler onto the outside, to Stark on the outside. This led to Io bringing it. Where is it? Okay, we'll get you a new one. We get Io Sky
through the match. I want to know what happened to Harlem.
She says, "Where's my pen? My pen's broken." We get Io Sky with an over the moonsault for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here. And then it was announced later in the show that it will be Io Sky and Kyrie Sane of Damage Control versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark to determine the number 1 contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
It was what it was. I mean, Io was pretty badass. And I like the double spot to the outside. That was cool. Although I very feared for Kyrie's safety. Thought she was her leg was gonna be underneath her, but she's all right. Thank goodness.
Yeah. I'm liking babyface Damage Control so far.
So far, yeah. Although something in me still doesn't trust Dakota Kai.
Yeah. The big man dog says, "Man, it's rough when the modern positive WWE crowd chants boring. They're just not into Sonya and Shayna and Zoe, and I can't say they gave them a reason to be into them either."
Can't you see, like, whenever Asuka's ready to come back, Dakota just turns on Damage Control?
I can see that. Yeah. So it's all three Japanese talents together. Yeah.
I just I don't trust Dakota Kai at all. Sorry.
You shouldn't. Not with her history. No. We get Chad Gable cutting a promo backstage. Quick promo on his way to the ring. He says he and the Crees wore matching blue and black gear. And he says they have new music because it appears they are now the team name American Made. He says that as they go to
as long as it's not American Males.
American Made. American Made.
That's the song American I was expecting. Made.
American made.
And then I just got some generic shit that, oh my god, man, when is this contract with Def Rebel gonna end, bro? This shit is.
Please.
It's like if you better be Samoan made if you want some good theme music, not American made. I ain't gonna get you shit.
And even those are not that great. I think people are gassy. But they get You Suck chants to their music. And then after the commercial break, we get the entrance of the Wyatt Sicks. And they hit the beat. They dropped the beat, Romeo. They dropped the beat.
Shatter.
Shatter by Code Orange. Love the rocking chair has the lantern to represent Bray with the group as the sixth member. They do this amazing entrance to the ring, which was great. And hearing Shattered again was awesome moment.
Yes.
They get into the ring after removing their mask. We get a quick brawl with them and American Made. The crowd is chanting, "This is awesome," as the dust settle on the Wyatt entrance. They wrestle without their masks, and they're not spooky figures. It's basically like a regular trios matchup, which it needed to be. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas watched from the aisle in his rocking chair while the regular crew didn't have their masks. You had Nikki Cross as Abby the Witch sat by his feet. This was a nice little touch as well. So great stuff. And I love how Michael Cole broke it down and broke down why each of these members basically are that certain way. And earlier in the night, I think right before this, we had Joe Gacy with a kind of interesting kind of character profile thing that they did for him, but it didn't have any talking, which is the best one. So it wasn't worth noting here. But the Wyatt Sicks, took their heat for a little bit. I think it was Gacy who took the heat from American Made, but then they eventually made their comeback. We get them fighting on the floor where Gacy and Loomis hit two Uranagis on the Creed brothers on the announce table. And then in the ring, they triple team Chad Gable. We get a power bomb by Gacy on Loomis onto Chad Gable. And then Loomis gets the tag for the final pinfall. He was kind of the highlight of this matchup. He was moving well in the ring, and he gets the big splash because he believes he's Mercy the Blizzard. So he flies through the air with the big splash at the end and gets the 1, 2, 3 on Gable for the win here. The Wyatt Sicks this was a good matchup. This was good. It was fine for what it was, but the crowd was going absolutely crazy. They really enjoyed this one and really enjoyed the presentation for the Wyatt Sicks. And the Wyatt Sicks pick up the win and stand tall to end Monday Night Raw. Very well done. This was a lot better than it ever could have been. My expectations were low, but they actually exceeded my expectation. This was good.
By a lot. Crazy. Yep, I loved everything you said with the entrance was cool. And can you imagine saying the sentence you said where like Dexter Loomis was the highlight, or how did you phrase it? It's like he stood out the most.
Yeah, he was the standout of the group.
Ain't that crazy to say, considering the times we've spent with Dexter Loomis in the past?
I liked Rowan too, doing the little tribute to Brody with the and he did the senton over the rope.
And he had that nice spot in the match where like he's just on fire, and then like he stops, he soaks it in, and the crowd just cheers. He's got that moment no matter what. He's got that moment. This was good. This was really good. Exceeded all expectations. They all delivered. Like I told you before, if they didn't deliver against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, they were dead in the water. If you can't have a good match with those guys, who can you have a good match with? So
I think it should end here, so we can do something with the American Made with Gable and the Creeds. I think they should just end it here. We shouldn't continue it, even though I think they will, and we'll eventually get Gable versus Uncle Howdy. I think you could split both factions up, and the Wyatt Sicks can find a new target after this.
Firefly Funhouse match. Gable and Howdy.
Oh, God. And he's going to go into Shorty G. He's going to transform him into Shorty G.
Oh, man. Did he have Jason Jordan in it?
Oh, man. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin. Call up Shelton Benjamin. Call up Bobby Roode. All his tag team partners.
Wow, that's right. Bobby Roode's there, too. Man. Shelton, we got a payday for you, Shelton.
Come for one payday. We're not reuniting the Hurt Business. That ship has sailed. So
and I like Cole. I like Cole at the end. Like, Bray Wyatt is looking down and he is so proud. It's like, yeah, you got me there. I mean,
Cole did an excellent job throughout how he was explaining each member, saying that Loomis has always been a loner and he was once in love, but he's always been to himself, a tortured artist, but he's finally found a home in the Wyatt Sicks. You had, he said for Joe Gacy, he's been a leader, a cult-like messiah himself, but now he's finally found a group that he's willing to follow someone else. That was great stuff that Cole did throughout this matchup. And he established that they are not spooky people. They believe themselves to be the characters from the Firefly Funhouse, but they are not actually the characters.
No oogly boogly, Chase. No oogly boogly. But listen, can't you? Ain't it crazy also that just 2 months ago, this lovable bunch who's paying tribute to Bray Wyatt were murderers and they got off scot-free, and here they are. Here we are applauding them for such a tremendous main event. Ain't that crazy how things just change so quick?
Came a long way. Give me 1 second. I have to run real quick and help with the misses, but go with the chat.
I will read some comments. What is this Austin Reeves crap? They did good. Right on time, Chase. Big Man Dogs, bring in Kurt Angle for a Funhouse segment where he hugs Jason Jordan and says, "You're so much better than Chad Gable." I like it. Get Kurt Angle a payday too. Call me Mr. Bonda. Tell you what, WWE has my favorite 6-man tag team matches in the biz. Oof. That's a statement. It's a fact. The main event was great. I make beats. Loads of people thought they weren't going to be any good, which is wild because they are all experienced wrestler. I was sketchy on them having chemistry. It's been a while for Rowan in the ring. Dexter Lumis, I never thought was all that good in the ring, honestly, to be honest with you. He kind of disappointed me at times. Joe Gacy, I think, is probably the best of the three. But really, like SP3 said, they highlighted Dexter Lumis the most, it felt like, in this match.
Yeah. And that was Cap. I think it was Mr. Bonda. I mean, it could be your favorite 6-man tag matches in the business, but New Japan does it better and AEW does 6-man tags better. But I can understand if you have a different opinion. I don't think I'm gonna remember like this as far as like the action in the ring. It was more about the Wyatt Sicks.
Who's the best worker of the Wyatt Sicks?
Gacy.
Over Bo?
Yeah. Gacy's the best.
Bo second? Counting Abigail.
Oh, no, Abby would be second. And then Bo.
I kind of think Abby's first.
Yeah, I would say Abby is first as far as like best character worker, but I would say Joe Gacy is probably the best in-ring worker. Like he had a banger with Dijak before Dijak left.
Interesting. Yeah, it does feel like they highlighted Dexter. I wonder if Gacy will get some shine.
I hope so. But overall, great Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys in the chat for your comments, for the super chat donations. Final call for super chat donations as we wrap things up here for me. And also, let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10. What did you give this show? For me and Romeo for the August 5th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up across the board from both of us. Out of 10, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
Very fair. I'll give it an 8.5. Enjoyable Raw.
I was at 8.5 before this, but going over the different stuff and how much I love the Judgment Day fallout as well as the Bronson Reed angle. Yeah, I got to give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for sure.
Man, between both shows, like they got Judgment Day and Bloodline drama lined up. Exactly. Easy to tell. You can't mess this up. Or can you? Don't take that as a challenge.
And then what was your match of the night?
Priest JD, despite the finish. They went at it. I loved it.
I'm gonna go with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for a match of the night. That was a banger to start things off. And MVPs for the show, I'm gonna go with the Terra Twins. The Terra Twins, man, they were. No, I'm gonna go with co-MVP, the Terra Twins and Bronson Reed. Those are the people that I'm gonna remember the most. Honorable mention to the Wyatt Sicks, but I feel like the Terra Twins and Bronson Reed. The Terra Twins feel like absolute mega baby faces, and Bronson Reed got his biggest moment of his WWE career.
Very fair for Bronson Reed. I'm going with all the Judgment Day. The old Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day, the Terra Twins, all of them. This whole story is going to be amazing. Finn was great in his promo. Dom and Liv with the heat. JD was really good in that match. And, of course, the Terra Twins. All of them.
LVP for the show, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins and Chad Gable.
Fair. I'm going to go with Adam Pearce. Just one of his main stars gets absolutely obliterated. Now he's on the shelf. You gave Sami Zayn a rematch. Not only that, you gave him 2 out of 3 falls for losing in 5 minutes from Saturday. So Adam Pearce, and he ignored Bronson Reed, and look what it cost him. Adam Pearce, man, this is the Adam Pearce Award.
Indeed. But that is our picks for match of the night and everything else. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about this episode of Monday Night Raw. Like we said before, top 3. I'm going to say top 2 for the year. This and the show in Chicago ahead of WrestleMania, my 2 favorite Raws of 2024 so far. But Romeo, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, when they will see you next, or anything else.
Romeo Damas, all social media, including on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the super chats. Thank you, SP3.
Of course, this was a good episode. One of our longest reviews that we've done. That's how much we enjoyed the show. We talked about it a lot here.
Yeah.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the game, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat, $3 a month. Get you exclusive content, the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship, plus much, much more when Romeo finishes with last season. Just give me my prize. Give me my championship.
It's coming. I'm making very slow progress.
I know. I was like, let's just move on. I won last season. Yeah, I do. Every so often, I'm like, this nigga's still in November. What the fuck are we doing? But yes, you got exclusive content, and that's the best place to support us when we are not live here. I will talk to my good brother Chris G to put up a NXT Great American Bash review for the shorts tomorrow, because we won't have any live streams here on the channel. We may have a live stream over at True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment. Me and Chrissy Love will review Netflix's Supercell, so be on the lookout for that. Go subscribe to that channel as well. And yes, Mr. Bonda, I will talk to my good brother Scott E and talk about a 5-star Grand Prix preview. I know that is coming up. I believe this weekend it starts.
What is that?
Maybe Friday. That's Stardom's G1 Climax.
That's right.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get Scott E. I'll team up with him, Mr. Bonda, just for you guys, because we love to talk about.
How's the G1 going? Quick thoughts.
Awesome. It's getting really good. So far, I would say B block MVP is by far Konosuke Takeshita. Go out of your way to watch his match with Uemura from last week, and then his match this weekend with Goto might have been the most G1 matchup we have seen in like 3 or 4 years. It's very much akin to like Shibata versus Ishii from like 2013, just like absolute banger, hard-hitting, adrenaline-pumping, instant intensity type of matchup. And Shingo Takagi over in the A block, he's been killing it. Today, he killed it with Sonata in Kurgan Hall. So, yeah.
But I got them all downloaded. I'll check them out eventually.
We're going to talk about the G1 Climax when this tournament all wraps up, which is coming up, I believe, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after is going to be the end of the G1. So Be on the lookout. Me, Chris, J News, as well as Sanal will be talking about that as well. But I will be back with you live on Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. AE Ramble, the best AEW Dynamite review in the land. So join us for that. Until then, for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 29, Family, for the August 5th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. We are signing off until next time.